Hello everyone, coming to you live from the green room. Let's talk graveyard dirt. In magical practices, let's welcome everyone on in here. Today, we're going to be exploring something that is deeply rooted and a bit controversial in tradition and symbolism, okay? Graveyard dirt, it might sound a little unusual at first, but when we understand its significance and symbolism, it can offer a unique perspective, okay, everyone, on respect, remembrance, and connectedness to our ancestors, to the land. Graveyards, let's talk about those. They are sacred spaces, places where we honor the lives of those who have what? Come before us. The earth within them holds what? A profound connection to our ancestors, to the memory and history. For centuries across various cultures, graveyard dirt has been used not for anything harmful, okay? Think about that. But as a way to acknowledge and connect with the past, to show reverence for our ancestors, and to symbolize the cycles of life and renewal for our ancestors. When we talk about using graveyard dirt, okay, it's crucial to approach it with the utmost respect. This isn't about taking something without thought. You have to be very responsible. It's a mindful and intentional act. Think of it as a symbolic gesture, a way to carry a piece of that history, right? And remembrance with you. Think about that. It's often used in small, symbolic ways. Perhaps if you guys are in a personal ritual, or use it as an offering for respect. The key is here, always use intentionally with reverence, okay? You can use it in practices, but you need to be careful. The importance lies in the symbolism. It represents the earth that cradles our loved ones, okay? Think about that. The ground that has witnessed, okay, countless stories and lives. By acknowledging, we acknowledge the what? The continually life and the enduring impact of those who have shaped what? The world. Now it's tangible to link our heritage and a reminder that we are part of something way much larger than ourselves. Using graveyard dirt is a reverence of respect. If you feel drawn to this practice, remember, always act with deep, deep respect for the space and for the individuals that you're working with. That is a very important aspect. It's about honoring. It's about not disturbing graveyard dirt, as it's a potent, versatile ingredient in your magical practices. When it's used in witchcraft for ancestral connection, it's used for protection, and commonly in banishing, we use it for binding, hexing, rituals. You have to use it with respect, though. It acts as a spiritual link to the deceased. Think about that. It's often selected based on the deceased life. Example, a soldier, a loved one, to serve as a magical, it serves as a magical intention. Key aspects of using this, okay, for this graveyard dirt in magic includes a bunch of things. I want you to think about this. When we use it for protection, when we use it for luck, we can use it for gambling, we can use it for money spells, we can use it during the waning moon, okay? In hexes, curses, in banishing. It acts as an all-purpose tool, okay, for channeling spirits. When we use proper etiquette, it is crucial. Many practitioners ask for the spirit's permission. Show respect, please, and leave an offering for them that you can use, such as coins, as whiskey, or flowers, or tobacco, for the spirit to exchange the dirt. For the graveyard dirt, the soil specifically taken from usually marked grave sites, often connected to the energetic, personal history of the person, okay, that's buried there. Crossroad dirt from the entrance of the cemetery, that is used for liminal work or to amplify a spell, okay? Now, if you found this enjoyable, please watch, like, share, and subscribe. I hope this sheds some light on the meaningful symbolism, and I hope that you all found this educational. And the importance is always use, and when you're taking the graveyard dirt, make sure you are justified in what you're doing. Because if you're going to use it in the practice for hexing and cursing, that is something that you are going to have to understand. When you bring a spirit into your home that is not of your ancestral line, you're bringing a complete stranger into your home, an energy. Now, if that energy doesn't want to leave, you're going to have a problem. So you have to be very careful with what you're doing. For me, I would suggest using graveyard dirt for specific uses of honoring, for thanking. If you're going to use it in a respectable way for a spell, such as money spells or gambling, go to the uncle that was a gambler. Go to a bank if you need be. Take some of that dirt. It doesn't always have to be graveyard dirt. It can be for protection spell. You can go to a police station, scoop up a little dirt, because it's the embodiment, the imprint of the actual, the building that's there. So if you want a holy connection, get some church dirt. Think about it. It doesn't have to be graveyard dirt. We don't have to always go to a dark side of things. But if you're going to use it in a darker aspect, make sure it's justified. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it, before you gather it. Graveyard dirt is highly potent. It is highly charged spiritually. So you're not only going to bring home the person that you're taking from the grave, who you might be taking it unjustly from, you're going to bring others with you, because that dirt is highly spiritually charged. That's their home. That's their formative home, where their body, their mana rests, their bones rest. To take that from a graveyard, you're doing a great injustice if it is not your ancestor. You've got to be really careful with what you're doing. And you have to know what you're doing if things go south. So something is going to linger in your home. Remember, you took them from their resting place. Their resting place. It doesn't always go as planned. Remember that, okay? So when you want protection, and say you have a police officer that was in the family, go to his grave or her grave, talk to the grave, give it an offering, take just a little, don't take more than what you need. Remember, you're taking from someone's resting site. Do it honorably and respectful, okay? Now, when I say these kind of things in the end, it's not to scare you, it's to give you educational purposes, because we all want spells, we all want to create, we all want to do magic, but a lot of people in the communities now are just wanting the end result. They're not looking at the work prior to. They're not looking at the energy work. They're not looking at put your plug in the light socket. Remember, you have to put energy where energy is supposed to go. You have to plug in the energy for it to work. And when you're doing the little things without looking at what you're supposed to be looking at, don't read the end of the book and skip all the information, because that's where all the important steps are. A lot of practitioners are doing that now, the young ones, so you have to be really careful. I'm not here to be your magic mama or your somebody that judges you, because to each their own. You do your work justifiably. What you do in your own magical practice is your business, but I'm just giving out a little reference of safety here, because I think a lot of people don't put that in their backlog. You need to make sure you know what you're doing before you do it, because you can hurt yourself and you can hurt others within your home when taking home graveyard dirt. This is not a practice of carelessness. You need to be very, very careful in what you're doing. All right, everybody. I will be back for another video soon. I want to do a live. Put yes or no under this video for a live. If you want a certain topic, put it under here. I definitely want to hear your comments, okay? Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.